Mamdani is being protested against by his own voters that are outside of his mansion.
Because he was in the Epstein files?
Well, to be fair, it was his mom. But yeah, that's true.
But he was like in a picture as a baby with her and Epstein.
No, I think actually, no, that picture was
one
fake.
of them was AI, one of them was fake, and one of them was real.
I think all of them are fake because
really?
The picture was when it was 2009 and Mamdani wouldn't have been a baby.
Yeah, for sure.
But I did see the email that was very much real about how she was partying with Ghislaine Maxwell. She was at her house at some kind of party or something. I mean, obviously other people were there too, but yeah, it's just, at first when I heard it, I thought it was just a little weird because I'm just like Mamdani aside and using it for like political haha, I was kind of like, is there like, is everyone in the Epstein files? Like, am I in the Epstein file? Like, I feel like every time there's a new batch.
No, I mean, the reality is that there were a lot of people he networked with, right? So if you go through his email, there are going to be a ton of people who had no idea what he was doing, who he networked with, and that's not indicative of wrongdoing. That said, the Bill Gates email where he begged for antibiotics to feloniously slip to his wife, some things like that expose a lot more.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I get that, but if I would have thought Mamdani's mom, like, I get he networked with a lot of people, but they still had to be somebody, at least a little bit. And
Mamdani's voters are rightfully upset. The fact that his mom was friends with a Zionist.
I don't know if this is true.
Why don't we just send all of the Pallies to Epstein Island?
Most of them love Muhammad, but
we can call it Palestine Island.
So, hold on. Her name is Mira Nair. Okay, and I got to look this up now because I forgot to fact check it. But someone said she was married up until 1989 for about 10 years to someone's. Oh, she was. She was married
but it's not
to.
Related.
No. I know, but it's just funny. She was married to Mitch Epstein, and I'm not saying it's related to Epstein, but I'm saying that she was married to a Jew. The pro Mamdani people got to be upset at that. Like you said, it's probably not so much the pedophilia stuff. It's the fact that what if they just started protesting Mamdani? Like, we know your mom was married to a Jew.
Why do you think he hates Jews so much?
Yeah, he was born in what?
A Jew literally.
Go ahead, Rabbi. You there?
Yeah, I wasn't going to finish that sentence.
Oh. He just has step-Abba issues.
He just has.
Well, to be fair, she was married to him before he was born. Is she? So she's Indian, and she was married to a Jew, and then later, I assume his father's Muslim. Yeah, his name's Mahmoud Mamdani. Huh. You know, if I was into a little bit more conspiracies about Mossad and the Jews, I would be like, I could just imagine like a Candace Owens episode now. Like, Mamdani is a Mossad plant. And then it's like, did you know that his mom was married to someone named Mitch Epstein? And she was in the Epstein files because she was at Ghislaine Maxwell's house. Is that a coincidence? We're just supposed to believe that Mamdani, who was just elected as mayor of New York City, his mom was friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. Like, I could see that episode. I could totally see that episode. That's crazy.
That really is 10 out of 10 Candace logic.
Yeah, I could see any of them doing it.
I think we are fast approaching Candace Owens unaliving one of her own kids.
Oh, man. I wonder if her husband... Is he also, like, just as crazy? I know his ideology is probably just as insane, but, I mean, is he just as crazy? Because does he not look at his wife and think...
The Nile is a river in Egypt. Her husband is gay.
I did tweet out to Candace because she tweeted something about repressed homosexuals. I don't remember exactly what she was saying. And I said, Candace Owens talking about repressed homosexuals while being married to one has got to be the funniest thing ever.
She wrote an article back when she worked for the Daily Wire that said you should marry a gay man.
Yeah, she did. She did write that. She tweeted out today talking about the Daily Wire. She said, thank Jesus that he saved me from this organization, company, whatever she said. And I'm like, why didn't you just quit then? Like, if that's how you felt, why didn't you just quit? Oh yeah. Anyways, look at this. I haven't even seen this yet, so I don't know what it's gonna say, but I just found it on my X right now. Let's see. Another Tucker debunking Tucker video. I love these.
One second, forget Tucker debunking Tucker videos. He tweeted 4 days ago, anyone still talking about Gaza hates America.
I know, I made a video about
and
that.
then released 3 episodes about Gaza.
No, and then he talked about Gaza and Iran with Cenk Uyghur, and he mentioned Israel. I counted it because I did the transcript, Control F, like 222 times, which is on average about once every 30 seconds of the entire episode. Well, not just him. Both of them said the word Israel, and they consistently said Iran, Gaza, Iran, Gaza, Iran, Gaza. Anyways, I'm interested to see what this is. It says, compilation of Tucker Carlson being a liar, hypocrite, and straight up contradicting himself.
Hamas is a group of jihadis. They're Islamic extremists, which they also claim constantly. Which I don't know if that's true. By the way, it seems more like a political organization.
I love when he does that, which I don't know if it's true. By the way, it's always like the little catch-all. He's like, he wants to say it, but he also is like, I don't know if this will be backlash. I'll just kind of also say,
eyebrows this week when you said that Hamas is more like a political organization than a terror group.
I didn't say that.
And as someone who has zero interest in participating in any kind of boycott, much less against Israel, I'm just not interested. I'm happy. Whatever, buy the hummus.
And I wasn't on Twitter, but I kept getting texts from people like, oh, they're so mad at you about the hummus or something. Since when is hummus Jew? It's an Arab food. The one person we know who
it's not an Arab food, just FYI. It's not an Israeli thing, but it's not an Arab food.
has crystal clarity on what's happening, not just in this country, but in the world. Someone who's watched it and chronicled it for years now. His name is Douglas Murray.
I know Douglas, and I think that I've always gotten along with him, and I think that he's clever, but he's hardly an expert on anything. Well, so right. Like, what? Dave Rubin? Whoever that is? Dave Rubin, though, does he matter? That's why Dave is like just a child. Like, you don't pay any attention to Dave.
Tucker blurbed my book. He wrote, Dave Rubin is one of the bravest, smartest people I know, as well as a tremendous television presence.
I think U.S. aid, military aid to Israel, and the implied security guarantees, some explicit, but many implied security guarantees of the United States to Israel, probably haven't helped Israel that much long term. You know, it's a rich country with a highly capable population. Like every other country, it's probably best if it makes its decisions based on what it can do by itself. That country couldn't exist without, not for a week without U.S. backing.
Calling people names, anti-Semite, isolationist, to get them to stop talking is not the way to serve your country. That's all I'm saying. And a bunch of low IQ Republican senator warmonger freaks.
America's supporting Israel because it's an ally.
I don't even know what those words mean. I'm just saying principle.
They're an ally, right? I mean, they both.
I don't know what that means to be an ally.
To say we don't care what the president of the United States wants in his foreign policy.
That's not the behavior of an ally.
What if Qatar was our closest ally? Again, not promoting Qatar. I'm not moving there. I am, however, tomorrow buying a place in Qatar.
Oh man, that's great. Qatar? Never taken a dime from Qatar. To the person in the comments that says,
listen to moron comedian Dave Chappelle's latest special?
I don't really watch Dave Chappelle's specials, to be honest.
No.
But he spent a third of the special talking about how there's more freedom of speech in Qatar than there is in America, in Saudi Arabia than there is in America.
Really?
Which, I mean, he's just an idiot. But to give an example of it, he goes, when I make jokes that we should kill trans people there, nobody complains. And I'm like, yeah, because they agree with you.
Well, also,
now say something the government doesn't like.
Also, there's this really problematic thing with people like Dave Chappelle, and I don't know why they don't get it, but if you make a joke about trans people in this case, and people don't agree with you or boo you or talk about you on Twitter, that's not anti-free speech. That's pro-free speech, because people have just as much of a right to disagree with you and say they disagree with you, then they're just as much of a right to do that as you do to make the joke in the first place. Anti-free speech would be if you did that and then the next day the government comes and arrests you for making a joke about a trans person. I really don't get the amount of people, and by the way, this is both liberals and conservatives do this all the time. This isn't even like one party that does it. When you disagree with them or spout it, you're just like, oh, that's my free speech. And it's like, yeah, I agree it's your free speech. Anyways, Jacob, go ahead. Jacob,
what do you think the deal is? Yeah. I've been watching Tucker before. I always saw him as like a big picture kind of guy, where he looks at who he likes and who he thinks is beneficial, and then he kind of lets the commentary melt into that mold. So if he likes the guy, he'll be like, "You're an expert, you tell us." And if he doesn't like you, he'd be like, "Oh, so what's the silly college you've gone to?" It's just like fluff. But he really has who he likes and who he doesn't like. I always felt that way. So something changed with him. Something changed, and suddenly he liked different people and he disliked different people. Was I just fooled by him the whole time? Did I think he was like sincere and he really,
Yeah, he's just a grifter. He's like Candace. He's a grifter. He'll believe.
I don't know.
He's a grifter.
It's the easiest thing to say, and it would make sense. I just wonder if there's more going on.
His behavior, right? It's consistent with his behavior.
It is. It would explain everything. My question is just: is that it? Is it that simple, or is there more stuff going on behind the scenes?
We have no evidence that there's anything more than that. Could there be? Sure. Just in terms of what's available to us as members of the public, it looks like he's a grifter. He's acting like one, and we have no other evidence to suggest something else is more likely.
And then they offered him more money than he was getting from the system.
I don't.
Oh,
okay.
There was a time. I don't
know. Like, is that what I should think?
So there was a time that Tucker Carlson wanted to be his father. So his father, it's worth noting, worked for a newspaper, told lies that he knew were lies about the mayor of San Francisco. The newspaper got sued for $700,000, and his father was not held liable. Which is funny, because Tucker Carlson told lies on Fox News that he knew were lies. Fox News got sued for $200 billion, and Tucker Carlson was not held liable. So really, he succeeded in being his father. But the point is that he had a career path for himself, and then he told a lie so blatant, and more importantly, so obvious that he himself knew it was a lie, that there was no longer a place for him in polite society.
Which lie was this? Which one is this? Which story was this?
That there was a private company that had machines that were hacking the vote.
Oh. Meaning this was by Trump 2020.
Correct. So he was privately texting people, "This is a lie, and I hate Trump, and I can't wait to stop talking about him." And then he was saying publicly again that this private company stole ballots and cheated in the election.
And helped Joe Biden.
To help Joe Biden, yes.
Okay, so...
And he was dumb enough to write down that he knew he was lying. When you do that, you no longer can work in polite society. So, for example, that happened to Dan Rather. Dan Rather was an amazing newsman, but he really hated George W. Bush. And when someone came to him with a dossier that would hurt Bush, he didn't do his due diligence before putting it on the air. Now, he didn't know it was a lie. He just did way too little research before saying something was true.
There's confirmation bias, right? Like, I think people are very susceptible
but again,
to
this
it.
was beyond, with Tucker, it was beyond confirmation bias because he knew it was a lie. And he said that. So Dan Rather could no longer work in news anywhere. He went from being the host of the most important news show in America to being entirely unhireable.
So did Brian Williams stop? Did Brian Williams stop working?
For a while, he did. Yeah. Where's Brian Williams working right now?
Isn't he at MSNBC?
I don't know.
I haven't seen that thing in a while. Maybe, I don't know.
But
yeah, he was caught in a lie, and then he's like, "Yeah, I did it. Sorry."
So again, there was no longer a place for him in news. However, he was not done.